Hi there, Tracy here with another scrapbooking process video. This one is using the Purple Rain kit from Scraptastic, which is the kit for May of 2015. And I'm just going through the pattern papers that come in this kit. This kit has some beautiful, beautiful shades of purple and turquoise and teal and just beautiful colors that I absolutely love. And I'm going to be scrapbooking some pictures of my friend Stephanie Hart's cats, and she has some of the most beautiful cats that I have ever seen, and they are an important part of our life, not only because, you know, when I visit her I get to see her beautiful cats, but also one of her cats, Ralphie Rooster, has an Instagram account, and she posts some beautiful pictures there, and my kids and I routinely look at Ralphie Roo's Instagram account, and so it's sort of a big part of our life is just looking at what shenanigans Ralphie has been getting up to lately. And so I'm going to scrapbook one of those photos, and you see it right there. And one thing that I love about the photo is that it has this beautiful shade of purple in the sheets underneath of it. So underneath where the cats are sitting, or above, I guess. So I'm having a look at the pattern paper that comes in the kit, and I'm having a bit of a difficult time just narrowing it down because so many of these papers are so beautiful and they work so well with the photo. So at first I thought about using that pink background paper, that pink pattern paper, as a matte, but I'm going to matte this photo in black instead. I had a feeling that this layout would be mostly whites, and so I wanted to put something just to anchor the photo, and so using black as a matte is a really nice way to just give a photo a little bit more definition on your layout. And so I'm going to get my trimmer and move all my paper out of the way, and I'm just going to trim that. So there's just a tiny little sliver of black. It's less than 1/4 of an inch. It's maybe even less than 1/8 of an inch. It's just a little bit showing. And I was thinking about using this purple paper as my background paper. And it is a Scraptastic exclusive, and I really love it. And it ends up that all of the pattern paper that I'm going to use on this layout is Scraptastic paper. And that paper right there is probably my favorite paper. Well, one of my favorite papers in the kit, the one with all the circles on it. So I decided that the purple paper would look really nice if it were framed out with the white cardstock that came in the kit. So I'm going to do that. I'm just kind of leaving it there. I'm not going to do it quite yet, but I'm leaving that little bit of white showing to remind me to matte that purple paper. And now I'm just going to use my ruler to tear this paper up a little bit. I do want a lot of this paper showing because I really love it, and it's such a big, bold pattern that in order to really enjoy the full kind of impact of it, I wanted to leave a lot of it showing. Bold paper can look quite nice without much of it showing too, just with little hints of it showing, but in this case I really wanted to keep it intact. So there we go. Cut down my purple paper so that it fits on the white cardstock. Oh, my ATG got a little bit off kilter there. And there we go. That's actually a larger white border than what I planned. I cut a 1/2 inch off of 2 adjacent sides of the purple paper. Right now I'm just at my sewing machine sewing the whole perimeter. I'm just putting a little sewing stitched border around the whole edge of where the purple paper is. I should have really left just a little bit more than I should have cut off a little bit more than 1/4 of an inch instead of a full 1/2 inch, and then I would have had more of the size of matting on this layout that I wanted. So I'm just at my sewing machine now doing that stitching, and I'll be back in just a second. You'll see me, there I am. And so I'm just going to cut off the extra threads, and then I'm taking my ruler, and this is how I avoid getting paper cuts, because sometimes when I do this, I do get quite severe paper cuts the last couple times, because this paper is so thick. That sometimes when you're pulling it up and running your finger along it to pull up the edges, you can really give yourself quite a gash in your finger. So I've been using my ruler to do that lately, and it does a faster job than my hands anyways. So I cut this piece of origami paper. I really love that paper with the birds all over it, but I was really struggling with how to use it because it's quite a bit more white than the other papers that I'm using here, and I just wasn't sure if I was going to use a vertical or a horizontal stripe, and I thought about not using it at all. So I'm going to go ahead and design this layout without using that strip of paper at all, but then I am going to go ahead and use it again before I'm done. So I have these acrylic pieces, and I just love the way that the word love looks on this layout. It's bold and it has a lot of impact. And I wanted to use all three of those origami pieces. Those are just pieces of acrylic that came in the kit, and they're also exclusive to the kit. So far, everything except for the white and black cardstock is Scraptastic exclusive items. So designed by Caitlin Schaefer and only available in the kits. So it's kind of nice to use all these pieces all together. The word lovely is another kit die cut as well, Scraptastic die cut. So now these bows are from Dear Lizzie, and I'm going to use two of them. The navy blue one on the bottom, I thought about making them both be pink, and I just thought that the navy blue one on the bottom just adds a little bit more weight down there, and I kind of like it there. So I'm going to leave it there, and that flare badge with the little origami bird on it looks perfect in the middle of the O for the word love, so I'm going to put that in there. And I'm just looking for some other embellishments. Again, here I am thinking about how am I going to use this strip, and then I decided I'm going to use it right there, and I just had to trim it a little bit so that it fits within the purple paper. I didn't want it extending over into the white, and so that's how that's going to go. And I would like to use a couple of these tags, and I'm thinking about that come on that cut apart sheet from Scraptastic. And so these are We Are Memory Keepers die cuts, and they are from the Hello Darling collection. And so I'm just picking out a couple of pieces that I think will match with the layout and kind of communicate the message, which is, you know, how cute these cats are. And so I'm just going through all the pieces, and I'm thinking about, you know, the color and the size and the shape and things I want to spread around the layout. So right now I have three places of embellishment. I have the top where it says lovely, I have the middle where it says love this, and then I have the bottom where the title is going to be that says love. And so I just wanted to put a little bit more detail in each of these places. So I cut out one of those tags, or labels, I guess, and put it under the pink bow. And I'm going to cut another one and put it under the navy blue bow. So I'm just, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I'm probably talking to Stephanie, but I see that I'm coming back. There I am. And I am going to cut the other plain-ish label that kind of matches the other one. Like it's strips of color and then some branches on either side. And so they're different kinds of branches on each one, but they're the same kind of a thing. So they're different colors and different kinds of branches, but I really like how it looks using the two of them together on the same layout. So this layout actually doesn't have a whole lot of embellishment on it. This is pretty much the way this layout is going to be. Just because there's so much, oh, look at Stephanie's fingernail. Okay, so I put it in a freeze frame so you could see this. She hand painted those fingernails. One has confetti, one has dots, one has a little hand painted flamingo. They're just so pretty and bright and colorful. And she was having a look at my layout, so I told her to show her nails. Yeah, so I'm trying to think about the title here, and I'll go back to talking about why I have fewer embellishments on this one in just a few minutes. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of the title, and the word love is there, and it's a big word. It's so big that I tend to, when I have a word like that, that's that size on my layout, I tend to make it into my title. Like, it's just too big to be a design element or just an embellishment. So I'm thinking about calling this one Kitty Love, and I am going to call it Kitty Love, even though I know as I'm composing this title that I already have a layout from 2012 that's called Kitty Love, but it's been long enough, and it's okay to reuse the same titles. There's only Stephanie told me this. She's like, there's only so many titles you can come up with. So what I'm showing you there is this is what I don't want to do. I don't want to go Lovely Kitty Love, because lovely is not part of the title. And if I were to put kitty in that middle place there, it looks like lovely is like the three words make a predictable line down the middle of it. It looks like lovely is the title, and it also just makes an awkward line go down the middle, an awkward diagonal line go down the middle of my layout. So that's why I'm going to put kitty here, even though I am kind of impinging on the photo a little bit and putting those letters on top of little Luna's beautiful fur. I've decided to do that for design reasons, and I think it looks cute like that. And I would never cover anything important. But yeah, I was a little hesitant to cover up the beautiful frizzy fur, because that's sort of part of what I love about these cat pictures. But there's so much frizzy fur on the layout that you're not going to miss the little tiny bit that's under the word kitty. I'm thinking about adding little embellishments on either side of kitty, either little chevrons or asterisks or something, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just thinking about whether this is it, and I think this is it. So the reason I put so few embellishments on this layout is that it's very busy. The background paper is a pattern paper, and then the two pattern papers, actually all three of the pattern papers that are on this layout, are quite bold, colorful, and they draw a lot of your attention. And if I put other embellishments on there, what would happen is they would get lost, and the layout would start to look even busier. So right now there's just kind of chunks of patterns. And if I were to start layering a whole bunch of embellishments on top of it, you're going to lose the feeling of the chunks of patterns, and the embellishments themselves are going to get lost within the patterns. So I'm not going to do that. I also decided against outlining on this one, just for a change. I was actually planning to outline right up until I started gluing things down. I said, you know what, I'm not going to. And that's just, again, for a change, but also I felt like outlining would distract from the pretty patterns. Like I kind of like how the color tones in these papers are so similar that they almost flow right into one another. And I didn't want to interrupt that with an outlined line. So I decided against outlining. There's no right or wrong way. Like, you can use outlining if you want, or you don't have to if you don't want to. And I just decided not to here. So I'm going to pop dot this photo before I realize that I actually don't want it pop dotted. The reason, and I also didn't want these papers to be pulled up there, because I need the word love. It's an acrylic shape, and those are they're not hard to glue down, but I don't want it on anything that's got too much dimension, or it's going to be kind of like floating up off of the layout in some places. So I am going to go back and take off the pop dots on the bottom. I'm going to leave them on the top just because I don't mind the photo being angled. As long as it's flat where the word love is, that's all that really matters to me. So, and I do refer a lot to the photo this time in order to line it up. That's partially because I'm talking with Stephanie while I do this, and I just don't want to have to kind of figure it out again since I've already figured it out. It's all kind of lined up there in the photo. And if I follow the photo really closely, then I can pay more attention to just kind of enjoying the process and chatting with Stephanie. Whereas, if I wasn't so distracted, I probably could have just kind of winged it a little bit more rather than looking to that photo so much for so much of the details. So there we go. The word love, oops, it was down a little bit, but I fixed it there while the glue was still wet. And that mono multi adhesive is a really great adhesive. It's very strong and it dries to clear, so you're not going to see it even under a transparent element like this, like the word love. So now I'm going to put these embellishments together. And they're just 2 die cuts from that We Are Memory Keepers ephemera kit, her ephemera package. I just popped a little pop dot under there just to make the heart stick up a little bit. And I'm going to put pop dots under both sides of the arrow and have the arrow be pointing to the kittens. And that needs a little something. I'm going to add some enamel pieces to the Love This part because it's too boring. The colors are a little flat and they do kind of blend in with the background quite a lot with the patterns. So these letter stickers are one of my favorite. I love a black foam letter sticker, so I really, really love these. They are called, what are they called? Woodland, and they're from Dear Lizzie, and they're really cute. So I just glued that word lovely to the pattern paper that it's layering under, and then I put pop dots behind it so that both the pattern paper and the word lovely would lift up off the purple paper a little bit. It's a bit of a tongue twister narrating this one. Purple pattern paper. So there's that second embellishment that consists of a Scraptastic label and a Dear Lizzie bow. And now I'm going to put this little hummingbird or whatever it is right here. And I just needed the paper underneath of it to be flat down onto the, it kind of connected to the purple pattern paper below it. So that makes a cute little cluster right there. The word lovely, the hummingbird, the bow, and the label. And here are those enamel shapes. They're from We Are Memory Keepers. And I'm just going to put a couple of them here on this Love This embellishment that I kind of layered 2 things together. So I'm putting a star over the O in Love This, and then I put a little ampersand right behind it. Those 2 are too close together, so I'm going to move that ampersand over a little bit. Keep an eye out for it. Thought about adding some more enamel pieces. I'd like to ideally put 1 in each of the clusters, or at least 1 in each of the clusters. But again, I was trying really hard not to clutter up this one. So I decided against adding the enamel pieces. It really felt like it was missing something. So I grabbed these 2 wooden sprigs. They're like wood veneers that look like branches or something. And I think that looks really great. Like, it wasn't something that I thought would look good on this layout. And again, it's another example of just try things out, even if you're not sure if it'll look good, because I wouldn't have thought that I'd like that. But I actually really think it finishes off the layout quite a lot. I didn't do any sprinkles or mist on this layout because, again, I just wanted it to be fairly simple and have the elements kind of each have a chance to impact you, I guess, impact the viewer. Then I realized that I don't have any journaling on this, and it's going to look like we got some new cats. If you're looking at this and don't know our family, or, if someday we're looking back on it and we'll be like, whose cats were those? So I'm going to do some journaling that shows that it is not our cats. It says Stephanie's, Ralphie, and Luna, 2015. And I guess I'm talking with Stephanie while I do this. So first I put Ralphie and Luna 2015. And that's just one of the tags from the We Are Memory Keepers ephemera pack that came in the kit. And then I'm going to put the word Stephanie's above it so that we know that it's Stephanie's cats. And Stephanie shows up lots in my Project Life pages, which end up going right in with my 12 by 12 layouts. So people will know who Stephanie is. Years and years and years from now, when we look at this, we'll know who Stephanie is. So there's the layout up close. There are some photos coming at the end. I've got a little bit more of process here too. I'm not sure what I forgot to do. Oh yeah, I didn't glue down the wood veneers. I just shoved them in. So they're just sitting there by friction right now. And I decided I think I better actually glue those in. And see how I also shifted the ampersand over a little tiny bit? So it's not right behind the star anymore. There we go. And now we'll call this one done. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Have a really great scrappy week. Oh, those are some other photos that I could have scrapped, but I ended up going with this really cute one of Ralphie and Luna. So thanks so much for watching. Have a really great scrappy week.